AITA for calling a mom out for her kid's behavior? So I was taking a long train ride to visit family and a mother with 2 kids was sitting across from me. The older kid was probably about 6/7 and the younger kid about 3/4. The toddler was being rambunctious, but I didn't really think anything at first. I figured she'd set up something for him to do and he'd settle down. He started kicking the side of the train really hard and the mom just kept saying stuff like, "That's not nice," or, "The driver is going to be very upset." He then wasn't happy with his seat and wanted the older boys, so the mom had the older boy get up and just stand there so the toddler could decide where he wanted to sit. When he decided, he started kicking the train again. I snapped at the mom and told her to actually parent her kid. She looked really embarrassed and looked like she was going to cry. Then she ended up changing seats. Soon after. AITA? NTA. I'm a parent. Once on a work trip at the airport I saw something similar. I cleared my throat so the kid looked over and shook my head no and gave a stern look. As the mom opened her mouth to say something combative, I smiled like friendly and sort of conspiratorially and went, "Hey, I know. It takes a village. Don't worry about it." She was confused that I seemed to be on her side despite parenting her kid. Lol. NTA. Somebody has to teach them that that's not how you behave in public. And if the mom doesn't do it, someone else has to. People don't pay attention to their surroundings nowadays and think stuff like this is none of their business. But I think intervening when somebody's attacking someone or something, no matter how old they are, should be the norm. It's not like you kick the kid or something. You just talk to the mom. I would have probably done the same. NTA. I hate parents like this and even have some in my family. As one of the oldest relatives, I was always stuck parenting the rest of the children at big family events, and it was terrible because some of the kids were behaving like little monsters. After a couple of hours of yelling at them and actually holding them accountable for their behavior, they would finally quiet down, but after returning home with their parents who don't discipline them, they are back at it. I actually remember a moment when one of my relatives' kids stole something from some people at the restaurant we were at, broke glasses, climbed the table, and his mom was looking at him and quietly saying, "No, baby, don't do that. Oh, you, stop that." But in such a way that was not scolding him, because scolding kids traumatizes them. Teach your kids how to behave. NTA teacher here. Simple decency and common sense is that you teach your child not to kick things. Old enough to learn. Maybe the mom was having a bad day, but had she spent the time and effort to rein her child in, her day would have improved. Letting this behavior slide is why teachers are leaving the profession. Imagine 30 of those in a room and you're trying to teach on top of it. Parenting is hard. It's easier to correct the behavior now than when they're 15. Automod, thanks for posting. This comment is a copy of your post so readers can see the original text if your post is edited or removed. This comment is not accusing you of copying anything. Read this before contacting the mod team. So I was taking a long train ride to visit family and a mother with 2 kids was sitting across from me. The older kid was probably about 6/7 and the younger kid about 3/4. The toddler was being rambunctious, but I didn't really think anything at first. I figured she'd set up something for him to do and he'd settle down. He started kicking the side of the train really hard and the mom just kept saying stuff like, "That's not nice," or, "The driver is going to be very upset." He then wasn't happy with his seat and wanted the older boys, so the mom had the older boy get up and just stand there so the toddler could decide where he wanted to sit. When he decided, he started kicking the train again. I snapped at the mom and told her to actually parent her kid. She looked really embarrassed and looked like she was going to cry, then she ended up changing seats. Soon after, AITA? I am a bot. And this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. I pity the oldest kid the most because he just had to leave his seat and stand there BC his brother wanted to do tantrum. And mommy dearest golf course let it. Because little angel could do no wrong. Woman facepalming medium light skin tone, that's just dumb. NTA, why is it so hard for parents to actually parent these days? I'm from the sit down and shut up generation. My sister and I would not have survived our childhood behaving like that. Tears of joy. YTA, I wish people were as quick to offer help as they are to offer judgment. Get some perspective. You sound like a toddler yourself. NTA. I was on a flight where a parent let his son jump up and down on the seat, fiddle with the lights, air, and seat back. I got the child's attention and told him to sit down now. He slowly slid down. The father looked across the aisle at me. I looked right back. If his kid got tossed to the front of the aircraft, he'd be suing immediately. I'll manage the behavior of a child, of the parent won't. Sometimes it just takes a look. I also carry the little Happy Meal toys just in case it's a matter of boredom. Told her to actually parent her kid. It sounds like she was, though. She repeatedly corrected him and even let him pick his seat to avoid the brewing meltdown. I'm all for calling out parents who just abandon their child to wander and cause problems. Or put in their personal soundproof headphones and leave the rest of us to deal with the noise. But she was watching and trying to manage him. Maybe not the way you wanted her to. But she wasn't disengaged or uncaring that his behavior was annoying others. Sure, in theory the kid should know better, but for whatever reason he was choosing to be obstinate. What else did you want her to do in that moment? This seems less like a bad parent unleashing their spawn on the public and more like a person having a really tough day where the kid is just not cooperating. It would have been okay to move seats or make a polite request that she step in and stop him again. But you didn't need to snap. YTA. YTA. How do you know that she wasn't trying? How do you know if maybe she's just having an off day? What would you have suggested she do besides the generic, parent your child, bit? The NTA people seem to think that their kids are absolutely perfect 100% of the time or don't have kids at all. Was it necessary to snap right out of the gate? You couldn't have tried a nicer approach? NTA, I have a 3-year-old. We know not to touch things or hit property. I also would not have my other child stand. I've learned to have a variety of activities and stay engaging. For a train ride we are in the window counting everything if possible. Counting the colors and people. I get it, it's hard, and she probably was embarrassed, but at some point someone would say something. Ash, sounds like kid was having a tantrum and mom was trying to do something to alleviate it. That admittedly wasn't working. So yeah, mom should step up and do more, but why? No toddler's gonna toddler and they don't care if they are in a public place, they are gonna have tantrums. You could have just ignored it, or if it was bothering you that much you could have moved or helped, but instead you decided to kick someone when they were down instead. So for that you're an asshole. I don't care what anyone says. When you feel those feelings you walk away for at least 10 minutes. I was an asshole to someone today. Internet, am I the asshole? SU for snapping after an observed time of maybe 510 minutes. Her for not more actively interfering with the child's behavior. She's probably exhausted and you were short-tempered. Both of you could have done better. I get your frustration as an observer, but I feel her exhaustion as a mother of a toddler. Sometimes you're just too tired to even process that you need to do more, but it still must be done. Honesty about things doesn't always have to be snapped at people. And parenting won't do itself. YTA Dick. YTA. I don't think you were wrong in your thinking, or for being annoyed, but I think your approach was. There are kinder ways to go about it if you really feel like you must say something. Since the mom had enough sense to look a bit embarrassed or ashamed and didn't snap back like her precious baby can do no wrong, I think it stands to reason she's just a regular mom struggling with the day-to-day stuff a lot of us do. YTA. It's incredibly hard to parent in public when people are watching, especially with toddlers. If you're stern, you get people looking over at you like you're an abusive parent and hear things like, "Oh, they're just excited to be on a train," or, "You'll miss this when they're big," so you try to be as quiet and kind as you can with your kids. Then you have people like you judging because she's not being a tough enough parent. There is literally no way to win. Either people judge you for being too harsh or not harsh enough. 2 young kids on a train is hard enough. You don't know what kind of morning they had, or if the child had learning disabilities or autism. The correct thing to do is not to get involved with something that's none of your business. It's public transportation. Everyone has a right to be there. Your comfort level is not more important than theirs. That poor mom probably went home and cried over that. Being a parent is hard. We are all just trying to do our best. None of us know what struggles she was already going through. What if she was visiting a dying relative? On her way to a custody battle? On the way to take the kid to a hospital appointment for cancer treatment? You don't know. Keep your mouth shut and find something else to do.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.